Do you know how to create mobile responsive application in Power Apps? See here, this dashboard is mobile responsive. Right now this is in window size. If I want to open in Canvas, this is going to be open perfectly. And now if I want to open the same application into the mobile, just go and change the resolution and see here, this is mobile responsive. If I want to put some width over here, 590 into 1150, and see here, this is completely mobile responsive application. Now if I will click on the hamburger menu, you can see my left navigation. Okay, let me make it a bit zoom. All right, now you can see the vertical scroll bar. So the vertical scroll bar is due to I have large content over here, right? And you can see inner and outer scroll bar. So the inner scroll bar is for inner content and outer scroll bar is for whole content, right? And here if you will see, this is horizontal scroll bar also. Whenever we having column and the width of the column is greater than the width of my device, at that time we have to put a horizontal scroll bar so that we can horizontally scroll our application and we can see all the columns. My name is Anil and today we are going to design this complete dashboard mobile responsive. Alright, so let's go and move to make.powerapps.com and we will create a blank solution. So I'm going to create a start with a blank solution and click on responsive desktop, tablet and phone. So I got screen 1. I will add few screens over here, but I'm interested to add blank screens over here. Now I will remove this screen 1. Now I will go on component and here I will create a left component. Rename it and say left nav. This width I will make it for now hard coded 220 and height I will make it 700. Inside this I will add a vertical container. This vertical container will be parent.width and height will be parent.height. Y I will make it 0. Inside this container I will add two containers. One is horizontal container and the second is normal container. These both container will be drop shadow none, minimum height 0 and minimum width will be 0. For the root container also the drop shadow will be none. This will be 7 fill position and for the fill position of my first container will be 1. Inside this container I will add two containers, container 1 and I will copy and paste over here. Again I will select my both containers, minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0. Drop shadow will be none. This will be 6. First container will be 1. Inside this container I will add a image control and inside this container I will add a label control. This will be parent.width and parent.height and this will be parent.height. Y will be 0. Text will be bus management. Now I will open a site. So this website where you will get all SVG icon and these icon are free of cost. Now the next website is Bootstrap SVG icon. Click on icons and here you can search bus. So from here you will get multiple icons. Whatever icons you want you can just click over here and just copy the HTML and go into the notepad, paste like this and press Ctrl F and change double quotes with single quotes and click on replace all. Copy this. So I will go into the app and in the formula Here we'll copy and paste few SVG icons contained. So here you can see custom icon, and this is the table. This is my icon name, and this is the icon data. The same data you can just copy from here, okay, and paste over there. You can search for schedule, for dashboard, for booking, and for bus management, whatever you want. We having two websites, and these are free of cost. You do not need to pay anything for these. I will again go into the component and click on image and will paste some code over here. So again I will go in my screen and go in apps, and on the top I will put few formulas, and these formula will help you to design your screen. Radius 6, font size 10, font equals to font underscore dot leto. So for all the controls I will use same font size, same font weight, and same color, and that's the reason I have put it some color code over here. Bus management demo, click on save. Again we'll move through the component. So you can see we are getting the error over here. For that, what we'll have to do, go into the left nav and access app scope, just click on, and now you will not get any kind of error. Go here, click on fill. So here we cannot see the bus icon. The reason is our icon color is white. For that I will go into the fill property and I will change some color. Now you can see, we can see the image icon over here. For that I will go and I'll make parent.width and parent.height, okay, and this will be a fit. This is the label. For the same, I told you we will go now again font underscore font underscore font size underscore font weight, and then color. So this will be a color dot white, right, and this I will make into the center. Now for this container I will add a gallery control, and this will be a vertical gallery, and this I will make the blank vertical gallery. Inside this blank vertical gallery I will add a button control. Inside this I will add a horizontal container. This container having parent dot template width, parent dot template height. Y will be 0 and X will be 0. Template size we can make it a 50 for now. This button for now I will make a visual false. Inside this horizontal container I will add two containers. For both containers minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. The second container fill position will be 5 and the first container will be 1. Inside this container again I will add a image control and click on copy, and I will paste a image control over here. Now in the container, the second container I will add a label control. So again I will copy my label control from above and will paste over here. Right, for this image here I will go parent.width into 90% and height will be parent.height into 70%, and X will be parent.width minus self.width divided by 2, and for Y parent.height minus self.height divided by 2, so that my icon will become into the center. Now I will go on screens and go on application, and on start property of my application I will put a collection. So this is my collection where I have provided the screen name as a dashboard, title equals to dashboard, icon will be lookup custom icon. So custom icon is my table name. In the formula I will show you. See here, this is custom icon, and again go on start, and then icon equals to report, and then icon data. Right, so this is how we are getting the icon data of my report. See here, this is we are getting the SVG. Now I will bind this gallery with my data source as a nav menu call, right, and this is bus management this will be this item dot title. Okay, so let me go on screen and click on run on start so that I can see my data, right? You can see the data in the image. I will just copy and paste some code. So here we are getting the substitute this item dot icon and current color will be color icon underscore white. Right now for bus management text, I'll make it align left, and from the left I'll make it a 10 pixel, and this will be a let to black, this will be bold, and font size plus font size. Width, parent dot width, I can make it 90%, and then parent dot height I can make it 90%. Parent dot width minus self dot width divided by 2. Parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2, so that it will become into the center. Right now this gallery, if you will see, we having a y, so that I will make it for a 0, and width will be parent dot width and height will be parent dot height. Right now I will save my application and click on the screen, and here you can see the dashboard. Right, so you will see here we having this kind of a structure. So first will be the left navigation, and then you can see the content. Now here I will insert my left navigation. All right, width will be 220 and height I will make parent dot height, and here I will add a vertical container. So this vertical container x will be a left nav 1 underscore width, and y will be 0. Width will be parent dot width minus left nav 1 dot width, and height will be parent dot height. Now inside this container I will add a container. Inside this container I will add one more vertical container. So my first container, this minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0, and for this container I will make width will be parent dot width into 96%, height will be parent dot height into 96%, and x will be parent dot width minus self dot width divided by 2. Y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2. And for this container I will change the color, and for this container again I will change color dot white. So see, and for border radius I will make it 16 pixel. For this container I can make drop shadow as a none and border radius 0, and for this container also drop shadow will be none and border radius will be 0. Now inside this container again I will add two containers. Okay, for both containers again the same thing, minimum height 0 and minimum width 0. I will let you know whenever we will work with the responsiveness, then the use of minimum height and minimum width. Okay, for the second container this will be 12 of 13th and this will be 1. In my first container I will add a horizontal container, and this x will be 0, width will be parent dot width, and height will be parent dot height. Inside this container I will add three containers. So I will just copy this container, okay, and paste over here, again over here, and one more container. For this container I'll make a 0.5, and this container fill position 1.5, and for this container fill position 1. For all three containers, again I will go and make it drop shadow as a none and border radius 0. For this container also drop shadow will be none, and for this container also drop shadow will be none and border radius will be 0. Inside this container I will add a text label, and again this text will be good morning, and then font will be underscore font. Font size we can make it 13 for this now, and this will be bold, and width will be parent dot width, height will be parent dot height, x will be 0 and y will be 0. Now for second container I will add a text box. So this will be modern text box. For modern text box we will go into the setting and go into the updates and enable modern controls and themes. Click on close, and now add a text box or text input. This will be parent.width, height will be parent.height into 90%, and x will be 0 and y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2. Parent dot height minus self dot height is a concept to make the control into the center vertically, and x parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2 make control into the center horizontally, right? So inside this control I will add a search icon, and this search icon color I'll change yes, and this will be width will be parent dot width into 5%, and height will be parent dot height into 90%. Again the same parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2, and x will be 0. From the left we can make it a 5 pixel. Text input we can make border radius as 16 pixel. Placeholder we can type search. I think we have to make text from the left as a 10 pixel or 20 pixel. One more thing, we can make it a border, a bit border, make it a solid, and here I will make this border color, and then here I'll put the value as 2. Now for the second container, if you will see, we do have two containers over here, correct? The first container, inside this container, the first container is the top container and then the bottom container. See here. Inside this container, I will add a horizontal container. This container I will make parent.width, parent.height. For now x will be 0 and y will be 0. Inside this horizontal container, I will add two vertical container. Vertical container 1 and then vertical container 2. For both container, drop shadow will be none. Minimum height will be 0, minimum width will be 0. For root container also, the parent container also, drop shadow will be none. Now we want to make some space. So for this container, parent.height I will make it 96%, and again parent.height I will make 96%, and then x, we want this container content should be into the center, divide by 2, and height parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2. Similarly for this container also, y I can make it parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2, and x also I want same parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2, and width I will make it 96%, and height also I will make 96%. This will be self dot width. Then I think we are doing some mistake over here also, self dot width. The fill position for this container will be 2, and for second container will be 1. Now inside this container, I will add three containers. The first will be horizontal container, and then two containers will be vertical containers. Drop shadow for all these three containers will be none. Minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. Fill position for these two containers will be 2 and rest of my one container the fill position will be 1. Inside this container I will add a container and I will add a horizontal container. Alright. So the horizontal container will be 2 and then the another container will be 1. Minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. Inside this container, I will add a vertical container. This vertical container will be parent.width and height will be parent.height. X will be 0 and Y will be 0. Inside this vertical container, I will add two containers over here. Container 1 and then again container 2. For both containers, minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. The second container will be fill position 1.6. Inside this container, I will add a horizontal container and this also will be parent.width and height will be parent.height. Now inside this container, I will add two containers. For both containers, minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. Drop shadow will be none. Fill position will be 2.5. For the first container, I will add a label control. This will be successful departure. Font will be underscore font. Size will be underscore size. And font weight will be font weight. Width will be parent.width. Height will be parent.height. X will be 0 and Y will be 0. Inside the second container, I will add a image. Image will be parent.width and parent.height, and the image tag I will copy and paste again. So these will be dots. Dots I have taken already from these two websites. I added some media over here. I added some background actually. So now again I will go here and this is my container and here I will add a image and this will be parent.width, parent.height, x will be 0 and y will be 0, and here I will add the black image. And this will be fill and reorder will be sent to back. Now the text, the label of the color of my text will be color dot white. For this container, the border radius I will make 16 pixel. Now inside this container, I will add a horizontal container. Again, this will be a parent.width and parent.height. Inside this horizontal container, I will add two containers. The first will be vertical container and then second will be normal container. For both containers, drop shadow will be none, minimum width will be 0, minimum height will be 0. This container, the drop shadow will be none. Inside this container, I will add two containers. One will be a normal container and then second will be horizontal container. Now these both containers also minimum height will be 0, minimum width will be 0, drop shadow will be none. Inside this container I will add a image. Now this I will set with thumbs up image. Width will be parent.width, height will be parent.height minus into 80% and x will be 0, y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2. Now inside this container I will add a label control. This label also will be parent dot width and height will be parent dot height, x will be 0 and y will be 0, and text we can make it 142 divided by 200 the departure rate, and font will be underscore font, and font size we can make it 17. Font weight will be underscore font weight, and then color will be color dot white. Inside this container I will add two containers, container 1 and then container 2. Both container will be minimum width 0, minimum height 0, and drop shadow will be none. For the second container we can make it 1, and for first container the fill position we can make it 0.4. For the first container I will add a label control and the text will be 2%. Again font size will be font size and weight will be underscore font weight, and then color will be color dot white. Width will be parent dot width and height will be parent dot height. Inside the second container I will add a image control again. Now this will be parent dot width into 30%, parent dot height into 50%, y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2, and the image will be again chart lineup image. Now I want to make some space from left and right, so I will make it 90%, and this will be again parent dot width minus self dot width divided by 2. Now I will copy this complete container and go over here, and I will paste this container over here. Now my parent container the drop shadow will be none, and again one more time I will paste over here. In the main container I will make some gap, so that will be 8 pixel. Inside these also I will make some gap as 8 pixel. This I will make a reorder and move to left. So now here are two containers. Why I have put it this container horizontally and this container in unresponsive container, I will let you know whenever we will work for a responsiveness. So for this container, the image I will change as a blue. Okay, so if you want to upload the images, you can just click on upload button and then images will be there to select. This text will be total earnings. This will be $12,500. This will be 7%. Now this image, the some thumbs up image, I will change to money bag. Right. So my second container is ready. Right. These two containers are ready. I can see this drop shadow. So I will remove this drop shadow. Now for the second container, you will go and you will change the image black to maroon. This will be today's booking. This number is 3568. This will be 5%. And this image we can change to a tag. Right. Everything is done. The same thing we have to make all containers drop shadow as a none. Now our first part is ready. Now we will work on the second part. So see here, this part is ready. Now we are going to design this part. So I will go here and inside this container, I will again add two horizontal container 1 and then container 2. For both containers, the drop shadow will be none, minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. This container will be 3. Now inside this container again I will add two horizontal container. For these containers again the drop shadow will be none and minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0. Inside this container I will add a vertical container and there will be one normal container. For both containers again the drop shadow will be none, minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. For this container I will add a button control. The width will be parent.width into 60%. Height will be parent.height into 60%. X will be parent.width minus self.width divided by 2. Y will be parent.height minus self.height divided by 2. This will be active and type will be transparent and icon style will be filled. And for icon, this will be icon after chevron down. Now if we will see, we cannot see the border. The thing is why we are not able to see the border. Here we have put it some color code. This is color code. So instead of this color code, I will change the color to fill color underscore fill inner, and this is little bit darkish color, right? And then I will go again to my container, and for this main container the color will be color dot white. And then here in the border we'll make some border solid 1 pixel, and then I will change the color and see. Now we can see the border, and this I will make to 16 pixel, and this we can make it a little bit dark. Yes, now the border we can see. Now inside this container we do have two containers. container 1, and then again container 2. For both these containers, the drop shadow will be none, minimum height will be 0, and minimum width will be 0. In both, I will go and add a label control. The font will be underscore font, font size underscore font size, font weight underscore font weight. This we can font letter black, and this we can make it a bold, and X will be 0, width will be parent dot width, height will be parent dot height, and then color will be color dot black, and text will be bus list. Now in the second container, again I will add a label. This will be a font, font size, and this will be normal is fine, and color again it will be color dot black, and width will be parent dot width, height will be parent dot height, X will be 0, and then text will be today's active versus 120. Now this from the left I will make 10 pixel. Now this container is ready. Now we will work on this container. Inside this container I will add 3 containers: vertical container, then a normal container, then again a vertical container. So basically the vertical container, this container we can copy and paste. Alright, this is the similar container. Okay, so I will go again over here and I will delete these two containers, and paste this container, and again paste this container. Now these all 3 containers will fill position will be 1, minimum width will be 0, minimum height will be 0, and this container I will make into the left. Inside this container I will add a image control. This will be a parent dot width into 70%. This will be parent dot height into 70%, and this will be self dot height. Y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2. X will be parent dot width minus self dot width divide by 2. And then for an image I will go and I will say user dot image. See, and now this border radius I can make it 180 pixels so that it will become in a circle. Right, for this container the drop shadow I can make it a none, and for this full container the drop shadow I can make it light, and for this complete container I can make it place some gap as a 16 pixel, and for this also we can make put some gap as a 16 pixel. For this container we can make drop shadow as a light. Now see here, we can see the drop shadow. Now we will change the text. This will be seats, and this will be fully packed, and this will be my name, that is Anil Kumar, or if you want you can put user dot display name or dot full name, I think, yes. So that will come as dynamic, and this will be driver. All right, by the way, I'm not a driver, but here that's fine. This part has been designed. See here, this part is designed, right? This drop shadow I can make it none. All right, so it looks better. Yes. Now we will design this part. Inside this container, I will add two containers. This is the container. Inside this container, I will add two containers. Container 1 and then container 2. For both containers, I will make drop shadow none and minimum width 0, minimum height 0. Inside this container, I will add a vertical gallery. For this container, for this gallery, parent dot width and height will be parent dot height. Template size I can make it a 50. Now I will go in app on start, and on app start I will put a collection over here. So this collection, basically we are taking a call bus detail, bus name, bus code, source and destination. I will just click on run on start so that my collection is ready to use. Choose the collection from here, call bus detail. In my gallery, I will add a vertical container. Now I will remove everything from my gallery. For this container, I will make parent dot template width. Height will be parent dot template height. Inside this container, I will add horizontal container and one more horizontal container. For both containers, the minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0 and drop shadow will be none. In both containers, I will add a container control, and again I will add one more container control, and these both will be drop shadow none and minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0. Inside this container, I will add a label control. This label will be parent.width and height will be parent.height. X will be 0 and Y will be 0. This will be this item dot bus name, and font will be underscore font. Font size will be underscore font size. Font weight will be underscore font weight. I will copy this control, paste over here. Right. This I can make it be normal, and this will be dot source. Now this is the container, right? This container. I will copy this container and I will paste over here. And this is blank container we just added. I will remove it, and this will be this item dot source bus code, and this will be destination. Now for the gallery control, I will make some template padding. So this I will make it 15 pixel. So now you can see my gallery is coming as expected. Now it is moving little bit right, so because of the template padding. So for that I want the template padding, but from X I can make it 15 pixel because I don't want, or 10 pixel. I don't want any padding from the left. See here, now it is coming as expected because this is also 10 pixel and this is also 10 pixel from the left. Now there is one more thing. For that, for a fill, I will paste some formula. If this item dot is selected, then I will put some code, else it will be transparent. And then for all the labels, what I will do, I will go into the color and put some formula, because whenever we are putting the blue color, my color of my labels is going to be faded, and that's the reason we are putting a formula. If this item dot is selected, then color dot white, else color dot black. See, now whatever we will select, you can see our item is going to be selected and seems it's selected. If you want, you can remove this vertical scroll, scroll off, but still your gallery will be scrolled automatically whenever you will mouse over up and down. Now inside this container, I will add a map. If you want, you can set the latitude and longitude of this map, and you can use the default location. Whatever you want, you can use over here. If you want share current location, you can make it on also. So there are lots of property of the map that is not we are not going to discuss, because our agenda is to make a beautiful dashboard. Now we will build this part. Now inside this container, I will add two containers. One will be the normal container, and then second will be vertical container. And then this will be vertical container. For both containers, drop shadow will be none, minimum height will be 0, and minimum width will be 0. For this container, the fill options will be 7, and for another container, the fill options will be 1. Now inside this container, again I will add a label, and here all booking list, and this font will be underscore font. Font size is fine. Font weight we can make it bold, and for this container also we can make color as color dot white. This text we can make it x will be 10 pixel. Width we can make it a parent dot width, and height we can make parent.height. Now inside this container, I will add a gallery. Why we are adding the container and then the gallery, I will let you know. Now I will go in app start, and on app start will put a collection. You know how to create the collection. If you don't know how to create the collection, then watch my previous video where we have discussed everything about the collection. Here we are getting the user error. So for that, what I will do, here I will add a data source, Office 365 users. This is the connector I will add over here. Now my all error has gone. Click on run on start, and this collection I will bind with same call booking list. This gallery, I will make a blank gallery, and then here I will add a horizontal container. For this gallery, I will make a height equals to this. I can make it a flexible height, and template size I will hard code it as a 50, and then this container. This minimum height will be 0, and minimum width will be 0. Basically this container I'll have to add inside this gallery control. Right, now this will be a parent dot template width, and then parent dot template height, and x will be 0, and drop shadow will be none. Now inside this container I will add 6 containers. For all containers, the drop shadow will be none, and minimum height will be 0, and minimum width will be 0. In the first container, I will add a image control. This image I will make a parent.height into 70%, and this will be self.height, and then this item I will bind this item dot picture. Now this picture y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divide by 2. X will be parent dot weight minus self dot weight divided by 2. Now border radius I will make it a 180 pixels so that it will become into the center, and then this image position I will make it a fill. In the second container I will add a label. This will be underscore font, font size, font weight. This item dot passenger. Width will be a parent dot width. Height will be parent dot height. X will be 0 and Y will be 0. Now I will copy this label and paste in my next 3 containers. Now this will be this item dot root, and this will be date and time, and this will be seat. Inside this container I will add a button control, and this will be this item dot status dot payment actually. Width will be parent.weight into 80% and parent.height into 90%. We can make it 40%. X will be parent dot weight minus self dot weight divided by 2. Y will be parent dot weight, parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2. And then we will go into the color palette, and in color palette I will put some code over here, right? And then we will go for a border, and this border radius I will make it 16 pixel. So see here, we are getting whatever we are looking, but here we are getting some gap. Let me figure it out. So here is the width 640. I will make it a stretch, and now it is coming as expected. So this part has been designed. If you will see here, we are getting whatever we want. See here. Now we have to design the right side part. Now inside this container, I will add two containers. Container 1 and then container 2. For both container, the minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0 and drop shadow will be none. And the fill options for this will be 3, this will be 2 and the first will be 1. And here the gap will be 16 pixel. Inside this container, I will add a gallery control and this will be a horizontal gallery. Now this will be parent.weight into 95% and height will be parent.height. X will be parent.width minus self.width divided by 2 and Y will be 0. Collection in app start. This is my app start, and here I will go. Here I will copy and paste the collection, and this is here you can see I have to upload some images over here. So I added few images over here. Now my collection is perfect. Let me go and click on run on start, and then see here my collection name is bus gallery. Call bus gallery. So I will go and bind with call bus gallery. Height will be a parent.height. Width will be a parent.template width. X will be 0 and Y will be 0. We can add title and subtitle and overlay. Template size will be parent.width. And now the subtitle color I'll make a yellow. Subtitle color we will make a yellow, and font size will be 15. This we can make it a bold. This we can say self.size into 3.8, and text we can make it center. Show scroll I'll make it off. Show navigation I'll make it on. Now you can see we having a proper navigation. Now we will build this part. Now inside this container I will add a vertical container. This will be a parent.width and into 95%. Height will be a parent.height. X will be parent.width minus self.width divided by 2, and Y I will make it a 0. Inside this I will add few containers. Horizontal container, then vertical container, then horizontal container, and then one more container, that is normal container. For all these container, drop shadow will be none, minimum height will be 0, minimum width will be 0. So this will be not a normal container, this will be also a same horizontal container. These two containers having a fill position 2 and rest of two containers having fill position 1 and 1. For this container I will go and change the color dot white. This container having a vertical container and then a normal container. Both container drop shadow will be none, minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0. Now this vertical container having two containers, see here, this is the same container, so I will go and copy and paste these two containers. This container I will remove. This container I will make into the left. Inside this container, we having a button control. This container text will be add bus. This bit will be parent dot weight into 60%, and this will be parent dot height into 50%. X will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2, and y will be x will be parent dot weight minus self dot width and divide by 2. And this border radius I can make it 8 pixel, and icon I can make it a plus icon, and weight we can make it a little bit like 70 pixel. Yes, this text will be a activity and this text will be a date. Now this container having two gallery, and these will be horizontal gallery, blank horizontal gallery. Inside this gallery I will add a label control. Minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. Template size will be parent dot weight divided by self dot all item count. Template padding will be 0. Two collection that I'm going to make, copy and paste. First will be call beak and then second will be call dates. So this collection I will bind with call beaks, and this label I will make parent dot template width and parent dot template height. X will be 0 and y will be 0. Now font will be underscore font, font size, font weight. I will copy this gallery and again will paste over here. Now this gallery scroll bar I'll make it off, and for second gallery I will bind with call dates. Inside this I will add two containers, container 1 and then again one more container. For both containers, minimum width will be 0, minimum height will be 0, and drop shadow will be none. For second container, the fill position will be 4. We can make it a 3. Inside this container, I will add a button control. This will be parent.weight into 90%. X will be parent.width minus self.width divided by 2. Height will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2. Now I will change the icon. This will be our next color. I can make it green. Now this container having two containers, container 1. Now inside this container I will add a vertical container. Width will be 90%. Height will be parent dot height into 90%. X will be parent dot width minus self dot width divided by 2. Y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2. Inside this container I will add two containers, container 1 and container 2. For both containers I will make a minimum height 0, minimum width 0, and drop shadow will be none, and this will be 4. Inside this container I will add again a vertical container. Inside this container again I will add a vertical container. This vertical container have parent.width and parent.height. Inside this vertical container I will add again two containers. And again one more container. For both containers, minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0 and drop shadow will be none. In both containers I will add a label control. The text will be Delhi express, font will be underscore font, and this will be letter black. Font size, I can make it font size. Font weight, we can make it font weight. Width will be parent dot width. Height will be parent dot height. X will be 0. Y will be 0. And color will be red. Again, I will copy this label and will paste over here. And one more I will paste over here. This will be white and this color will be black. Now for this container I will add image control. This will be a reorder to send to back, and width will be parent dot width, height will be parent dot height, x will be 0, y will be 0, and this will be fill, will be download. Great. Now this is label, and before that we do have one more label. This label, this I can make vertical align to top. Great. Now inside this container I will add a image. This also will be a parent dot width, parent dot height, x will be 0, y will be 0, this will be fill, and image will be download to. And now this image we will bring to into the back. Now this text will be 7 a.m. and this text will be Lucknow to Delhi. Perfect. See here, this is designed. Now there is only one more thing that we have to do, our border radius. Border radius I will make it 16 pixel. Drop shadow will be none. Similarly, I will copy this and will paste over here. And now this blank vertical I will remove from here. This text I will make it a letter, and color I can change to something like pink. This will be a Mumbai Express. This will be a Pune to Mumbai, and then time will be 8 a.m. and then we have to change both the images. This will be download 1 and this will be download 3. So see, our application is ready. Here you can see this we are getting a drop shadow. So that drop shadow I will remove. Now see, everything is designed as expected. See here. Now the only thing is how we can make this complete application responsive. For responsiveness, I will create same structure in booking screen, so that I will let you know how we can moving our container from horizontal to the vertical, and how we are arranging the height and width and minimum height and minimum width of my containers. So for that, so here I will add a horizontal container. Okay, this will be x equals to 0. Width will be parent dot width, height will be parent dot height, and y will be 0. Right. And now inside this container, I will add two vertical container. Vertical container 1 and then vertical container 2. Okay, this vertical container, the fill position I'll make 2. Okay, inside this vertical container, I will add a horizontal container. Inside this container, I will add one more horizontal container, and inside this container, I will add one more container. So see, we having three containers total here. Now for this fill position, I'll make 2. Minimum width will be 0. Minimum height will be 0 for now. For this container also, minimum width will be 0 and for minimum height will be 0. Inside this container, I will add again a horizontal container and there will be one more container. Great. Now for this container, minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0, and for this container also minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0. Inside this container, I will add two containers, container 1 and container 2. Right. Now this container, the minimum width will be 0 and minimum height will be 0. This container will occupied fill options 2 and this will occupied fill option 1. Right. Now inside this container also we do have two containers. So again I will add two containers, container 1 and container 2. Okay. These two containers also will have minimum width 0 and minimum height will be 0. Right. And then there is the right container. Here also I will create two containers, container 1 and container 2. So for these two container also the minimum height will be 0 and minimum width will be 0. Right. So this container I will create some color. Okay, so whenever we will move these containers from horizontal to the vertical, you will better understand. So let me change for this. Great. Now inside this container, I will add a label control. Okay, so this will be 1 and width will be parent dot width. Width will be parent dot width. Height will be parent dot height. X will be 0. Y will be 0. And then font width will be bold and this I will make it 100. Right, and this I will make into the center. This label I will copy and paste in all containers. Right, so this will be 2, second container. This will be third container, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth. For this container we can change a different color so that we can see our text. Great. Now total we having 8 containers. Right now these containers coming like this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, but I want 1 and 2. See here, 1 and 2 and 3, these are three containers. If you will see here, we want the first container and the second container should be horizontal and the third container should come in a vertical way, right? So for that, what I will do, just close it. And for this container, so this is our first container, right? So this is our first container. For this container, I will do if booking dot size equals to 1, means we are going for mobile device, then layout direction dot vertical, as my layout direction should be horizontal. Okay, so this now become into the horizontal, these two, 1 and 2, and 3 you can see vertical, right? Again, for this container also same I will apply. If booking dot size equals to 1, then layout direction dot vertical, else layout direction should be horizontal. See here, 1 2 3 4 5 and then 6, right? Now I want 7 and 8 should come in the bottom. For that, what I will do, this is my container, right? This direction also I will change and see. Now it is coming 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, but you can see my space between the containers is nothing. So for that, what I will do here, I can provide some gap, suppose 16 pixel if you want, right? We can see the space. You can apply this space within all the containers, right? So this is the space you can see right now. Now it's look like this. One more thing, you can see my containers are very small. So for that, what I will do, I will just change, minimum height. So the minimum height, if booking dot size equals to 1, then parent dot weight, parent dot height, and this is 1 out of 5. Okay, then I will do 1 out of 5 and I will make it 1.5, right? I want to increase my height, parent dot height into 1.5%. Okay, so see, now you can see a good space, but still we are not getting space. If you want, you can make the space, 1.5 or 2 as well, right? Then for, you can go for 2 or 3. If you want, you can go for 2. See here, now we are getting good space over here, right? Similarly, for this also, I will copy the same formula from here, and for this container also, you can go and change the minimum height to, this is 2 out of 5. I'll make 2 out of 5, and you can see we are getting good space over here now. But this is going to be, this container is not showing. For that, what I will do, I will just create a scroll bar over here, right? Here I will create a scroll bar. Okay, now see, I'm getting the scroll bar, correct? Similarly, you can see 7 and 8. For 7 and 8 also, if you want, you can put some height or some width. So this is 1 out of 3. So I can make 1 out of 3 into 2. And this also will give you some space. So it's up to you what you are looking. If you are looking, some height, some width, then you can provide minimum height and minimum width accordingly. So these are two containers. For this also, I will go and I will change minimum height, and this will be 2 out of 3, right? And this I will make it 0, and see, we are getting 1 2 3 4 5 is not showing. The reason is we have to provide a scroll bar over here, right here. See, now we are getting a clear picture. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 is not showing. 7 8 we can see. So these two containers having the minimum height, see here, and this also having minimum height, but this container do not have minimum height. For that, what I will do, this is 2 out of 5, I'll make it 2. Now see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Now now our screen is completely responsive. You can see 1 2 3, the same 1 2 3, right, and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So this is 1 2 3 4 and then 5 and then 6 7 and 8. So exactly the same thing we want to design over here in our dashboard. Whenever, you know, whenever I will run this application into the mobile, my container should become this container, these two containers should come horizontally and this container should come vertically. Similarly, these two containers and these two containers and this will come as it is. For this container, we have to put, vertical and horizontal scroll bar. So let's do it. Go into the component and go into the label property, and this you can make it you know align into the left and make it 10 pixel from the left, right? So yes, so now this is coming as expected. Now here I will add a image. For this image I will add a few lines of code, and this is our hamburger menu, and the width will be parent.width and the height will be parent.height into 90%, and x will be 0 and y will be parent dot height minus self dot height divided by 2. Now we will work on the responsiveness. Okay, so for this, on visual property I will go and I will type some formula. If dashboard.size equals to 1, size equals to 1, refer for a mobile, and if mobile, the size of my dashboard screen is equals to 1. If it is true, then true, else it will be false, right? So suppose if I will go here and I want to open my application in mobile. So see here, I'll pick up this. Right now, this is not a responsive application, but see here. Now I'll show you this is going to be visible, right? Now the on select property of this image set where collapse is not equals to where collapse, means we are going to toggle this. Now for a left navigation, I will go into the visual property and type this formula: dashboard.size is not equals to 1, then true, else where collapsed. So now see, whenever I'm going to open this in mobile, you can see my navigation is going to be true and false, visual true and false, right? But here we are getting some white space. So for that, what I will do, I will go into my container. So this is my container. For this container, and here will be the width. So this I will change something like this: if dashboard.size is not equals to 1, then parent.width minus left nav dot 1 dot width, else parent.width. Now you can see whenever I will click on this dashboard or this booking, this navigation automatically should be closed. For that, what I will do, you remember I added a button control over here, right? This button control. Instead of this button control, what I will do, I want to add this button, right? Now this I will make a parent dot width and height will be parent.height, and x will be 0, height will be a parent.template height, and width also we can make it parent.template width. Okay, and y I'll make it a 0, and this button reorder send to back. Okay, and this text will be 0, and this type will be transparent. So I cannot see my button, but still I can click on my button, right? Now on the onSelect property, I will type a formula, navigate this item dot screen name, and set where collapsed equals to false. Now I will run the application, but still I can see this white space over here. So for that, we are doing something wrong. Let me check the X. So yeah, this is the error. So this will be parent dot weight minus self dot width. Now it should work. So see here, whenever I will click over here, it will hide and it will show. And whenever I will click on dashboard, it will automatically hide, right? Now there are two containers, the container top container, and this is the bottom container. For this top container, I will go and I will say minimum height equals to, minimum height will be parent dot height into 1 and divide by 13. What does that mean? Whenever my application will be open into the mobile, this height should be remain as it is. For same, also I want for this the minimum height should be parent.height is to 12 and divide by 13. If you will see, these two containers will come horizontally and this container will come into the bottom. See here. For that, what I will do, I will go and this is my container. For this container, I will change the direction if dashboard is my screen name dot size equals to 1 for a mobile, then layout direction dot vertical, else layout direction dot horizontal. It will, for these two containers, it will go in a vertical direction, then this container will come horizontally and this come in a vertical in a bottom. Inside this container we do have two containers, these direction will be as it is as horizontal. Then for this minimum height, because if my container will come in a two rows, then what I have to do, I have to make my minimum height 200%. So I will go if dashboard dot size equals to 1, then whatever is my parent height, so my parent height is 1 out of 5 into 2%, right? So I'm just going to make double of my height, whatever is my height. Then I will copy this formula. Similarly, I will go for this, and here if you will see in the inner container, this container also will come into the vertical and this container also will come into the vertical. See here, these two containers you can see vertical, and then this container also is coming the vertical. See here. So we will do the same, but for this container we have to again provide the minimum height. So I will just copy this formula from here and go over here, and if my container will come into the bottom, these two containers will come into the bottom, then in that case my height will be double. So this is 2 out of 5, now it will be 2 out of 5 into 2. Again, for this container is not going to into the bottom, or into the vertical, this will be as it is. But for this also we have to provide the minimum height. So the minimum height is 2 out of 5, but this will be only 2 out of 5. But for this gallery, we have to provide a width, minimum width, because whenever this screen will come into the mobile size, my column will be hide. So I want vertical and horizontal scroll for this. So what I will do, I will say if dashboard dot size equals to 1, then parent dot width into 2. I just want to make width into 2. Right. Now, if I will run this application into the mobile, I'll show you what's happening now. See, these two containers are coming horizontally. This is coming vertical. These two also coming as expected vertical. This also coming vertical. Right? But this right section also I want vertical. Once this right section will come into the bottom, my these container will take automatically width. So for that, if you will see, these are my containers and this is the direction. So I will copy the formula from here and here I will paste it. Now this container will come into the bottom. See here. Now my red screen is in a bottom. See here. But we are not getting a good space. For that, we have to provide minimum height. So this container, I will provide the minimum height. So here is the minimum height. I will copy the formula from here. Minimum height. So this will be 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 into 2. And then similarly for this container, minimum height. And this will be 1 out of 3 into 2. 1 out of 3 into 2. Now we will provide the scroll bar because our content is larger. Be having two sections, the left section and the right section on a same screen. And then the reason is due to the large content, we have to provide the scroll bar. So the first scroll bar, I will provide vertical scroll bar over here. Now if you will go and you will see a scroll bar over here, right? See this scroll bar. But few container is still not getting a proper height. So now we have to provide the scroll bar for this section also. These are two sections, for this section and for this section. So for this section, I will go provide a vertical scroll bar, and for this section also, I will provide a vertical scroll bar. This section having a gallery. So for this, I will provide horizontal and vertical scroll, and for here also, I'll provide a vertical scroll and horizontal scroll. Now I will go here and see, we are getting two scrolls over here. This is my internal scroll. See here, we are getting all booking list, right? And now if you will see this good morning text, okay, for this, what we will do, we will just go over here and in the font, I will say if dashboard.size equals to 1, then font size else font size plus 1. I can make it font size minus 3. So you will see now it is coming as expected. It is coming in the bottom, right? See here. Now our application is working as expected. So I hope you love this video. If you love this video, then please subscribe my channel. Thank you and bye bye.